Hey, YouTube, what's going on? We here. Get ready for the show. We took a week off, but we back. So welcome to episode 247 of Technical File, the sports podcast you never knew you needed.
And it's your boy, TIZB number 3, Mr. Give it to me. I'm late, so I got to give it to me.
I am the Eric J.
Only known as
The Eric J.
And I'm Camille, point guard of the crew, the real life Tifa Lockhart, the girl next door. You know, holding it down for all the women who love sports.
And it's your boy K Harris, the gentleman.
The gentleman.
The everyday gentleman.
24/7.
But better known as K Diddy.
Take that. Okay. As we kick off the show, we got Kane Boog in the chat. What's going on, sir? What's going on, sir? Sport fact of the week. Do we got one? No? Okay, that's cool.
From last week, happy belated birthday to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Turned 75.
There we go.
Hey.
75, made the NBA 75. A lot of 75s going on. That's what's up. TGN show. So, like I mentioned, we were off last week. We had a lot of stuff going on. As you can see, we are recording remotely at the moment as well. But one thing that we did not forget to do is record our overtime show. So make sure that y'all have subscribed to our YouTube page and make sure that you download the Good News Radio app. Listen to the show live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 5:30 Pacific Time. You can catch us against something different every time you tune in. Like this week is going to be back to Winning Time, talking about the latest 2 episodes of that show. Last week, me and Eric did an NBA playoff check-in. So, like, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube. Exactly. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and download the Good News Radio app. Those are the only 2 places y'all can catch the overtime show. It is not on every streaming platform like this show is. Good News or YouTube. That's it. So make sure y'all go over there. And as Serial Sensei said in the comments, imagine not being subscribed. Shame on you. Just shame on you.
Shame.
Shame them. Just shame them all.
Shame. Shame.
I wish I knew how to put a picture in here. I definitely put a picture in here. Shame.
The game that needs a name.
I love that name. I ain't gonna hold it.
My suggestion is players in the NBA playoffs right now.
Works for me. I've been watching too, so we have
suggestions. God damn it!
Hey, I put sport movies in the doc. That was my suggestion. I had one. I came prepared.
So y'all got good suggestions. We ain't got prepared no more, but we got one. We got 2.
Yeah.
We doing NBA players in the NBA playoffs?
Sure. I'm with
that's cool.
All right.
Cool. What order we
going? Order we going? We going in tech order?
Yeah,
or you going around? Okay, so Tim, Eric, Ken, and me. So if you're not familiar with the game that needs a name, we have a topic, and we each get about 5 seconds to name something relatable to that topic. So since we're doing players in NBA playoffs tonight, we want to name somebody and keep it going. Go ahead, Ken.
Does that include teams that have already been put out?
I feel like it should.
Yes, it's still the first round.
Okay.
But cool. Not play-in teams.
Okay, cool.
There is a difference between playoff and play-in.
Yeah. Okay, that works.
Okay, so
I'm just thinking of one team.
There's still a copious amount.
That's the only team that's been eliminated. I mean, as of literally right now.
Oh well, yeah, you're right.
Atlanta might be
wait about 5 more minutes.
I was gonna say Atlanta
Right.
might be in the toilet.
Well, speaking of Atlanta, Trae Young.
Ja Morant.
For real? fam?
Damn, he out of there already.
Oh shit! You said tech order. I go last.
No, we said we was going clockwise.
Oh,
That's
I
real.
swear I thought it was tech order. My bad.
All right, hold on. I'll start over Trae Young,
Ja Morant.
KD.
Anthony Edwards.
John Collins,
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Kyrie.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Clint Capella,
Brandon Clark. This is
Shit.
gonna go
I'm out.
Patrick Beverly.
Kevin Herter,
Torian Prince.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Drew Holiday,
Oh, don't come on my team, babe.
Jared Vanderbilt.
Chris Middleton.
Oh, here we go.
Kyrie Irving,
All right.
He said that already.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna let you skate.
I'm out.
D'Angelo Russell.
Brooke Lopez.
Anthony Edwards.
I said Anthony Edwards.
All right, you win.
Damn.
Bah.
I kind of figured.
I was gonna go through the whole Bucks roster.
That's what I was like. I'm gonna pick a team and just go through the whole team.
I should have
As
stayed in
soon as
Atlanta.
Tim said Drew, I was like, no.
Hey, I had to throw it up. I was like, hey, somebody else go with teams. I'm gonna take somebody. Let me go ahead and throw this off. That's
No. Don't you do that. Don't you do that.
Yeah, clearly I'm watching Grizzlies Timberwolves, so I'm just looking at whoever on the screen.
I got
That's-
it on, but
That's pretty dope that Usher is there.
Usher and T
I got
Morant, the twinsies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actual Usher is there?
Yeah, they took her. They showed them together on the lookalike.
Courtside.
Like, they sitting by each other. They both had on the shades and everything. It was pretty funny.
He's an actual Usher.
He been in the whole time. His brother showed up.
That being said, let's just get into the topic discussion because we're gonna start with these NBA playoffs.
Playoffs.
Gotta love it. So when me and Eric did overtime last week and we went through each series, we just went east and then we went west. We went, seed by seed and down the list like that. But we got a full crew here. I'm gonna ask y'all, what series we talking about first? Of the 8, where do you want to start? What's been the most exciting thing you have been waiting to get on this show to talk about?
I guess we'll roll with KD and Kyrie than like everybody else and shit. I mean, because honestly, the way that they've been going back and forth on the social media since then, him and KD and Barkley, and then just them niggas getting swept in general. Like, come on now, the Nets getting swept in general. Granted, yes, everybody talking about it, but for good reason, because them motherfuckers, nobody thought they was gonna get swept. Like, my man was turbo out there, wasn't he? Like, with the broom and shit, bro. Like, Boston out there getting that shit. Like, hey, damn, that's kind of wild. But
I tweeted it. I was like, expected Boston to win the series. Did not see a sweep coming. Did not see that coming. They completely got into KD's head. Kyrie Irving looked like he was tired every game.
Yeah.
he probably was. Things getting hawked all game, bro. All game. If you ain't getting picked up 94 feet, somebody muffing you, somebody pulling on your shoulder, you getting dragged to the bench. Like, bro, why are you grabbing on me? Shout out to one of the Morris twins holding on to DeAndre Hunter this game and getting attacked. But he actually did that. Like, DeAndre Hunter was out of bounds, and he grabbed on to that man, holding on to him while he was out of bounds, and then let him go.
Kane dropped a comment in the comments. A comment in the comments. Did you guys see the tweet that if Simmons would have played in Game 4, he would have been the only player to be eliminated from the playoffs in consecutive games?
I did. I think that's probably why he didn't come back.
Let me ask y'all. The discourse around Ben Simmons right now. He mentioned that Game 4 was the game he was targeting to come back. All right, cool. But then we started seeing reports as the game got closer that he was not going to be playing. He had some back problems. And according to a report that came out through The Athletic, Simmons got with his agent, Rich Paul, and met with some of the Brooklyn execs. And they had a conversation about where Ben Simmons was because everybody thought he was going to be back. But now he has back soreness. And apparently during that conversation, there was mention of the fact that he might have some mental roadblocks that's causing him to feel back pain. where I'm not sure if anybody watches Better Call Saul, but in the first season, Jimmy's brother had this disease where he was allergic to electricity. Quote unquote.
Heard of that.
Right, but it was actually triggered by a mental thing. Like he didn't really have it, but like he thought he did. He had some kind of mental block.
Okay.
Not even, but
Markel Fultz, like they said, they couldn't find anything physically wrong with his shoulder, but like he said he experienced discomfort and it messed up how he shot the ball. So
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
it's coming to faults. Like I think that there is something to say. Like we all know the mind can override a lot of different things, and he has been open about the fact that he is struggling through some mental health problems. They are piling on that man right now.
Yeah,
like
let him have it.
Just filleting him.
Like for real.
I mean, I think Stephen A. Smith called him a pathetic excuse for an athlete. I'm like, y'all are crossing some lines here.
It's all the worst.
Like, there are some lines, in my opinion, there have been lines that have been crossed that don't need to be crossed.
Yeah.
I think a lot of. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the thing is, like, as a society, we want to think that we've progressed past the point where we are ignorant to mental health things, but that's only in a very narrow lens. Like, I think that if it conflicts with our understanding of like what a professional athlete, like what being a professional athlete means, like then all that shit goes out the window. Because it's like, well, if I was in your shoes, like I wouldn't have no, like I'd just be out there hooping, or I just do this, I just do that. Like so much of it comes down to like people wishing that they were in his position, and they like feel like, you know, he's squandering whatever, you know, talents or whatever, you know, like
or opportunity or whatever
opportunity that they would have killed for. Like he's just like, you know, he doesn't enjoy it or whatever it is. And like part of it is that he's not talking about it, so like all we know is like nebulous mental health issues or back issues, but like it's not specific about like injury. It's not specific about like, okay, what's the trigger, like what's actually going on. Because it's like if we had more transparency, like maybe people could speak more to what's going on and they would have more compassion. But at the same time, it's like there's still a stigma attached to mental health issues, and maybe he doesn't want to be opened up about like what specifically it is. Maybe it's something private, maybe it's something about a family member, like maybe it's something that he just doesn't want to talk about publicly. But that's part of the problem, is that he's not, and I'm not saying it's a problem, like that's part of like why this thing is happening, is because he isn't open about what's going on, so people are kind of filling in the gaps with their own
People tend to
story.
do that. They like to fill in gaps when you quiet. And to be honest with you, not saying that this was the point that you're making, but I don't think he owes me, like I don't think he owes the public anything. Like you don't have to, like whatever you are going through. That is not my business. All I can say is, hey, all I heard was you had a herniated disc in your back, and then you got some mental health issues. So all I can say is I hope you get better, brother. Like that's all I got. That's all I really got.
What if the trigger is him actually playing a game?
Could be at this point.
Like, because it was weeks of he started 1-on-1, then he started 2-on-1s, or he started doing like light 4-on-1s and stuff like that. Like he ain't practiced with the starters yet, but he's ramping up, and each week and each day it was getting better. Then Sunday came. Like it wasn't like a game the day before game 3. It wasn't like it because before game 3, it was definitely for sure he'll be back on Monday.
Right.
Sunday came, then all of a sudden he's no longer able to play, and so I'm thinking maybe, again, this is filling in the blanks. Part of that is the last time we seen him on the court, he got, like you said, flambéed. They turned his ass into rotisserie for how he diverted when he didn't dunk on Trae Young. They got eliminated. They blamed him a lot for that.
He
did, because he definitely should have dunked on him, but he took that and he really he felt the type of way about that. And then you got the herniated disc, and then you have the other mental health issues started piling on it. Then you have the teammates, and you have Doc Rivers, and you have Joel. It's like, hey, fuck, we trying to we gonna roll out without. He wanna do what he gonna do. I'm tired of him. We gonna roll out without. But the last time we seen him, and the last time that he had a big old issue on the court, like I said, I'm not just specifically from a mental aspect. Maybe him actually playing an NBA game sets him off because he don't want to deal with the criticism. He don't want to deal with the ridicule. He go out there and have an 0 for 18 game or an 0 for 5 shooting night. The internet go light his ass up again. And maybe that's just something he don't want to walk into.
And walking into that in the playoffs in a very high stakes environment might not be the best course of action. I think it's probably going to lean more towards what Eric was mentioning months ago, just saying like this is probably a get it together year for the Nets. They're going to need an off season. They all play together. They figure it out in the off season. They come back. And next year is the year that they're actually a real title contender. Because as we saw, Boston shut all that down.
One last point on Simmons, like people from ESPN are reporting that like the Nets are frustrated like with the situation, or like that they weren't happy with the way that things played out. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised like if he gets moved again in the summer. Like
it's a lot of money.
I mean, at the same time, I mean, yes, but like a team like I can't think of like a small Orlando. It's like, are we gonna get a talent like Ben Simmons? Like that's a low stress. I can't speak for him. Like, but I would think that would be like a low stress environment. Like throwing him into a first round matchup against Brooklyn after all the stuff that happened in Philly, like probably not great. But in Orlando, where like there are no expectations, there's no, they ain't contenders. They aren't on national TV all the time. Like maybe that's a team that would be like, okay, well, as long as we have a conversation with him and we feel comfortable. But again, like how comfortable can you feel with him?
Yeah.
That's
given that he was telling Brooklyn like before they trade for him, like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm all bought in and let's go.
Right. That's how healing tends to be. A lot of times you think you can be over something, done with something, and then you wake up the next day and you're like, I'm not. I am still.
And that's the case with back problems too. Like,
you're
good, and then you sleep wrong and you're not.
Shit's just flare up out of nowhere, bro. Walking.
Man, my knee been hurting for a week and a half, man. I don't.
Shit sucks. I don't think it's fair for the people who were out publicly saying that they was hoping that Ben Simmons come back because he'd be like a savior type. Like I don't think that if you went into that situation thinking that Ben Simmons coming back was going to be a quote unquote savior for the Nets, that's a lot of expectation that's unrealistic. Like I can see if you say, "Oh, I'm expecting him to come back to help defensively," sure, but to actually help save the series, and if he was there 3 games through 3 and 4, and he could have locked up, no, not all of that, because again, he has not played in 2 years now. Almost
a year.
Yeah,
but I mean, like to your point, I mean, the 4 of us, all of us thought that Boston would win that series. So like the outcome is, we all saw that Boston was a more complete team. Boston was a better defensive team. Mm-hmm. We had questions about the Nets defense. So like we had questions about their lineups. We saw what happened with Draymond, Andre Drummond out there. Like it's not good. They even went to decrepit. They went to decrepit Blake Griffin by the end of the series. Like we got to try something. Steve Nash was throwing everybody out there like, somebody, please help.
Help me.
I mean, shit, a week ago when we did that playoff check-in, I'm like, dog, this is why I love basketball, because game 1 was so good. And it's like, Boston went one way and Brooklyn went the other.
Mm-hmm.
All the games were close, though. It wasn't like they were blown out.
No, they were. And the thing with Kevin Durant in particular, because the narrative around him has been interesting. Like, there are some who are trying to, like, crap on his greatness and be like, y'all would do this to LeBron. If it was LeBron, why ain't y'all doing this to KD?
They have been.
Maybe if LeBron make the playoffs, we would know.
Jesus Christ, come on, bro.
Hey, LeGon James is still a cold-ass nickname, dog. LeGon is hilarious. That shit is funny.
Can't face.
Like, this slander is ridiculous tonight.
But the thing, what I was saying is like the shots that KD tends to take, they tend to be like difficult shots. Like he normally has a hand in his face when he's shooting. So it was interesting watching Boston defend him. Like they're up under him, they're being physical, of course, but like I still expected him to make the shots he missed.
Yeah.
Which I think is a credit to like KD's greatness, where it was like I was surprised that he was missing consistently. Like was it game 2 where he was 0 for 10 in the second half?
I believe so, yeah.
Every shot.
Every shot. It's wild.
Man,
All
was
right,
the free throws yesterday, wasn't he? In the game.
Yesterday, the game 4, he had a good game. But
Nick
is there anything?
I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, Nick Claxton couldn't make nothing. Is there anything else that y'all want to talk about in regards to the Boston Brooklyn series before we move on to the next one?
We'll see you motherfuckers next round, Boston. Hopefully Jordan back. Light y'all ass up.
He's talking about Chris Middleton. Because
I was like, Jordan, hey, Chris Middleton be lighting Boston ass up.
The joke is that he turns into Michael Jordan when he plays against the Boston Celtics, for those who were unaware.
As far, I mean, like, again, the playoffs are small sample size. Like, it's just a series of small sample sizes. So Brooklyn, it turns out, had a pretty good matchup against.
Boston had a good
matchup against. I feel like I just said Brooklyn. Boston had a pretty good matchup against Brooklyn. So like them and the Warriors have been the most impressive in round 1, just from the way that they've looked. But that could be a byproduct of either them being like, hey, these are probably the finals favorites, or they caught a good matchup. Mm-hmm. But yeah, after round 1, I mean, the Warriors still have to close out, but like after round 1, like I would say those are the 2 strongest looking teams going down the stretch, especially given the injuries to Milwaukee and Phoenix.
Let me ask y'all this before we officially move off of Brooklyn and Boston. Who was the best player in that series?
Jason Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum.
Agreed all around. Ken, what series you want to talk about next?
We can go to the Milwaukee and Bulls series.
Oh, okay. We can do that. We gotta do that.
That shouldn't take long.
I mean, y'all brought up Jordan. Jordan mid. So,
or as famous Los call him, KD in the Bucks jersey. I hope not the KD we saw in this playoffs against the Celtics. That cracked me up. He be doing a bit like, there go KD in the Bucks jersey. Y'all hate it when I say it.
I love his game though, man.
Yeah. So currently, as we record this, the Bucks lead the Chicago Bulls 3-1. Game 5 is tomorrow, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. As we kind of hinted toward or alluded to, in case you weren't aware, Chris Middleton suffered a MCL injury in his left knee, and he is out. The team said initially it's going to be about a 2-week window before they reevaluate him, and he injured that last week, so we're still about a week out from that reevaluation taking place. The Chicago Bulls have lost some guards. So Alex Caruso is in concussion protocol, and his availability for Game 5 is up in the air, while Zach LaVine has entered the NBA's health and safety protocols, which is, of course, going to jeopardize his availability for Game 5 on Wednesday as well. We all had the Bucks in this series. Eric and Ken thought it'd be a sweep. Me and Tim thought it'd be in 5. I'm gonna stay the course. Bucks in 5. I figured the reason I said Bucks in 5 was that I figured there would be a game where DeRozan got really hot, and the others made enough shots to overcome the Bucks. DeRozan had 41. The Bulls won. They got their game. I would be surprised if Chicago stretches this out past 5 games, but overall the series has gone how I thought it would once the Bucks started playing like the Milwaukee Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my thing. I thought that they were over all the dumb shit that they did last year, like their offense just looking scattershot. Like the first two games of that series is just like they're throwing the ball. Like it wasn't even like they just missed shots. Like they were throwing the ball away. Yep. They were careless. Like it looked like they hadn't played with each other ever. You know what I mean? Like it was like they beat themselves. Like no disrespect to Chicago, but they beat themselves those first 2 games. But the 2 games in Chicago looked much more like the Bucks team that I expected, and that was why I called it the sweep. Also, it was interesting that we did that playoff check-in last week, and pretty much everything that I said about the Suns could be applied to the Bucks like a day later, because Booker went down. It's like, well, like that, you can look like the strongest possible team, and one injury kind of throws all that in the flux, and lo and behold, 24 hours later, Bucks in that same position.
Same boat.
The only difference is like Phoenix has a series on their hands right now. That's coming for the Bucks next round.
Do they? Ken, Tim, y'all have any thoughts on Bucks Bulls?
All the Bulls fans who thought that they had a chance. Sorry
It's not
for
over
you.
yet, fam.
Sorry for you. You know it's over. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Forget
I'm
them.
just saying, technically,
And all that junk on the internet. Now they with us now. They know it. They feel it. They without their top 2 of their top 3. No, bro. No. It's been fun.
Shit.
It's been real. But
I was still out too.
yeah,
that's why I said
well,
3. Top 3
so,
guards.
Like Levine was looking nice last game.
First half.
First half. I give you, he was cooking. I'm like, plus I had my fan duel. I'm like, hey, keep cooking.
He had a good quarter. He had a good quarter.
But no, it was one of those, like, I didn't panic when Chris went down. I was sad that Chris went down because I'm like, we make it past this round. If we don't have him against Boston,
that's where my
give us
first
a little more
thought
issue.
went.
Not necessarily this one, but we also have a nice, well-balanced team for the most part. Like, the role players know that they know their jobs, and our chemistry is going to allow us to continue to keep rolling. Like, that's why I don't think that we'll have the same issue against Boston like the Nets had, because the Nets had issues with defense and chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
We have both.
Yes, but also, I think one area that Boston had over Brooklyn was size.
That's it.
Brooklyn's not a big team. They just aren't. Milwaukee has a lot of size, which is going to pose a different test for Boston. But also, Milwaukee gives up a lot of corner threes because they overhelp. And Grant Williams showed he can knock them down. Like, they have guys who will knock it down. And Jason Tatum's playing like a superstar right now. So it's going to be a very interesting series. I'm glad I don't have to make a prediction on that right now. Because to be completely honest with you, without Chris Middleton, I have some concerns. I have some real concerns because Chris Middleton is literally the only big wing the Bucks have on their team. There is no one else. Everyone else is 6'4", 6'5", and under, or 6'10" and over.
Like, he is the team full of big wings. Like,
exactly. So I have some concerns there. But again, we ain't talking about that right now. Ken, you got any Bucks, Bulls thoughts?
As the new resident Bucks fan,
Cheers.
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 The series is going how I expected it to go. Bulls injuries, just like you can't do nothing if like 3 of your top players aren't playing. Like, it's impossible to win the series. So again, like he was saying, the Bucks were like shooting themselves in the foot like the first few games. But I expect them, to turn it around just because, just to get the jitters out or whatever. But I'm confident in what they can do. Again, we definitely need Chris Mid back for the second round. Because Boston is no joke. But yeah, series is going to how I expected it to go. Even though I said sweep, but gentleman sweep.
Best player in this series has been
easily
Grayson Allen.
That's Grayson.
Yeah, damn near.
I can give that.
The real answer is Giannis, but shout out to Grayson Allen. Like, when Chris went down, like, I had a conversation with my coworker. We were just talking about the series. I'm like, I wonder if they'll go big. Like, I want to see more Brook, Bobby, Giannis, because functionally, Bobby Portis is kind of a small forward. Like, the way that
Giannis can be too.
Yeah, right. Like, the way he defends wings, I feel like, better than he does bigs, and he spaces the floor. So, like,
Kane, I don't understand your question here. Can the Bucks not play Giannis to give Chris 2 more? Tank some. No, don't play. We don't play with basketball like that. You win the games and you get it going.
We don't want to give nobody nothing.
No.
If you want it, my guy. But I'm not going to give you
nothing.
No 2-0 lead now. I know we done overcame this before, but we also lost these. So,
it wouldn't be no 2-0 lead. It would just extend this series. 3-2.
But yeah, so I was saying, like, I hope they use more size, which they did, and I was like, and when Chris was out earlier in the season, Grayson Allen got his shit off because, like, they use him as just a spot up shooter, but he can do stuff off the bounce. Like, he can stretch his wings a little bit more offensively. Would it happen against Boston? I have no idea. But I feel like Chicago, like he would be fine to, like get a little bit more on ball responsibility, and he ran with it so far.
Yeah.
I hope that Bucks fans tomorrow at Fiserv like boo him every time he gets the ball.
That shit is hilarious.
That should be a thing.
Bucks fans got to do like then they got to boo, like cheer him first.
I mean, like boo. Make it a boo, but be smile. Like people courtside got to smile and boo, so he knows it's in jest. Boo. Like, yeah.
Hey, a gentleman's boo.
Right.
A gentleman's boo.
A boo, sir.
Oh, boo, my good son. Boo you
too.
That's the thing with Grayson that's so underrated, I think, because a lot of people would assume that he's only a 3-point shooter, but no, like if you close out on him, he can drive. He can drive and he can finish at the rim. Yeah, what they say about the sneaky athleticism.
Yeah. The creative. He's creative. He's what do they say? What else they give?
They say sneaky athleticism. Triple T said tech foul after.
Tech foul after dark. Hey.
Hey, no, we too old for all that.
You can't get that. You can't get it.
Yeah, can't.
Ain't that about it? I guess I gotta get me.
We're just gonna leave. Like we'll leave and leave the stream on for Ken, and he can do whatever he wants.
Eric, what series you want to hit next?
Let's go to the one I've been wrong about twice now. Philadelphia and Toronto.
Hey man, don't be wrong 3 times now.
I'm gonna try to reverse jinx it.
Reverse jinx. Hey,
I missed that completely.
Shit.
Tim Johnson.
He funny.
Fans.
Right.
Hey.
No, you the one who said his full name.
Well, I mean, like it's fair.
Right.
Oh, that's funny.
It's the same saying. It's the same concept. If I'm
You just blew up the comment, like you feds Camille.
Fam, it's part of his name. Come on now.
Hey.
Like his name is public. The commenter, the guest name is not.
You got 4 letters. It could have been anything else after that.
Or it could have been letters before that.
Right.
Fam,
I mixed them up, sent them backwards. It's zinc. What you talking
I'm gonna check something, but Eric, go ahead and talk about that series. Because I'm pretty sure even in your Twitter profile you have your full name spelled out in there.
Hey, listen, we ain't gotta do all of that. That's too much time.
I'm just making
do all of that. You ain't gotta look all through that and everything like that. That's not the point.
Anyway.
I'll show my DMs. Hold on. My fault.
Hey, hold on now.
Screenshots and everything. Look at this.
What's that nigga?
People. It be your own people. Damn.
My bad.
Hey, Camille out here say fans and ourselves.
Almost exposed myself out here. Anywho, continue.
Oh, now we can continue.
Hey, Camille got a badge tonight, boy. There's a new sheriff in town.
Anyway, Philadelphia leads the series 3-2 after they went up 3-0. I didn't think about it in the moment, but Doc Rivers with a 3-something lead is never safe. Like one, Joel Embiid is hurt. Torn ligament in his thumb that will require surgery after the season ends. So clearly he's affected by it, but he's gonna try to play through it. And then also like Toronto's just some dogs. Like
locking James Harden ass up.
I don't want to try no more.
You know, like, bro, I ain't come here for this shit.
Dog, how both teams gonna end up losing that trade?
Hey, they did it.
And everybody at the time was saying it's a win-win for both teams.
It still could be.
No, I said we gotta wait and see. I definitely said I don't know yet because we don't know.
I'm just talking about the general conversation. I'm not talking about you specifically.
He said I had to clarify.
I wasn't speaking French that day.
But continue.
We
got a lot to get through still.
So,
continue.
I think is Van Vliet supposed to play in Game 6, or do they know yet?
Ooh, I do not think so.
I mean, honestly, like because they keep sticking these damn games on NBA TV, which again, NBA, get your shit together. Like I don't know, like honestly, because that's more switchable size, like that basically puts everybody in a starting lineup between 6'5" and 6'9". Like you can basically switch everything. Like it's kind of like what I envisioned before the series started, which is like you kind of nullify the Harden Embiid pick and roll, and if Embiid is hampered and like y'all just swatting at the ball, like when he gets it down low, doing more damage to that thumb, like you can kind of even it. Not saying that they being dirty, but just like somebody got weakness, you gotta attack it. So I don't know, like I think Toronto is alive. Like obviously nobody's ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in NBA history, so
someone's got to be first.
Exactly, they'd be making history if they did, but this is by no means like Philadelphia is in a good position. Like they are in a fight right now, and they really need Game 6 because I feel like going back home, Game 7, like Philly is one of them towns where it's like you might actually be better off like not having a big high pressure game there because they will turn on you in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If Philly loses Game 6 on Thursday, Toronto's winning the series. I'm just going to say if it goes 7, Toronto is winning, and our original predictions will look magnificent.
That's a wild shit. I even made a tweet yesterday because the chick with the meme and shit, when she be looking, she not interested. You know what I'm saying? She be like, like Doc Rivers with 3-0 lead.
Yo!
Game over? Who won?
Ja just, it's 1 second left, but Ja just hit a layup.
They got timeout.
Way to ruin that for me.
Oh, wow.
You late?
Y'all know I got
the internet, bro.
AT&T stream. It's the internet. We about 30 seconds behind.
Yeah, my bad.
It's usually fat ass.
What you ask? Not you. Don't ask me.
But no, but I was just looking at like you said, like Doc with a 3-0 lead, and Doc with a 3-1 lead. Now we're in familiar territory. now we're back to okay. Then now it's 3-2. Like, hey, listen, we thought that they was gonna give him an issue initially, and I like the fact that Toronto's at least putting up a fight, even if they don't, and our predictions are wrong. I like the fact that they actually still put up a fight on their way out, though. Like, I appreciate that. You ain't get sweat. You ain't just lay down and catch L's after L's after L's.
It was looking sad.
It was. So it made the first round more enjoyable because everybody at least tried. Most of the teams tried to keep a fight going.
The Raptors, just a fun fact, they're the first team to force a Game 6 being down 0-3 in the series since. Does anybody know? I know you know. Okay. Yeah, I know the last
should have been
team.
the sports fact of the week.
It should have been. I know the last team to force a Game 6 after being down 0-3 in the series.
Was it
happened in 2015? Happened in 2015. No.
15.
The two teams are playing each other right now. Well, currently, like in the first round.
In this playoffs.
In the West or East?
Nah,
it was Bucks Bulls.
That's enough.
It's Bucks Bulls. I'm gonna just tell you, it was Bucks Bulls. The Bucks forced Game 6 after being down 0-3.
And then got blew the fuck out.
Man,
blown out in Game 6.
We had so high. We was like, okay, we might knew.
No,
like same thing that Camille just said. Like I was like, somebody gotta be the first. Why not us?
That's how we felt. It wasn't us though, but it could be Toronto. It could be Toronto. The series I want to talk about, Game 5 is on right now. That is Phoenix, New Orleans. Series is currently tied at 2-2.
Like my conference, I would have picked.
No, I'd say any.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Any series. 2-2. Monty Williams got fined after Game 4 because he was talking about the free throw disparity. He's like, how they get 42, we get 15 of them things.
Because y'all don't attack the basket.
That's what I said. I was like, fam, y'all ain't playing the same way that Phoenix or that New Orleans is playing right now, and I get it. 42-15 is a big gap, but that's like asking why do Giannis got 15 free throws, because that's what he do.
He should have more shit. He get fouled damn near every time he goes in the game.
Yeah. But this series has been just really fun for me. It's crazy how much Booker's absence has flipped this series, because it's forced Chris Paul to have to be more of a bucket getter in addition to him facilitating everything. And on top of that, New Orleans ain't scared. And like I was saying before, like B.I. is looking like a superstar.
Hey,
and these rookies
doing what he do.
Oh, I know you gotta be. Jose.
Yeah, I'm Alvarado high for sure.
For sure. And Herb Jones? Come on, no, not on Herb.
Oh, he don't gotta get to the rack. He just gotta hit that midi. He get to his spot. They picking this up 94 feet.
But here's the thing, too, to Kane's point, that CP3 can go to the rack at 55 years old. When one aspect of your game is cut off, like I know you're not coming here. You're either you're looking for the mid range. I'm going to go under. So either you can take this 3 or you can meet me when you get back here. Now, Phoenix does all that cute stuff where they rescreen, try to get them back open again. But like, I know you're not going to drive. And if you do drive, good luck, because we could probably catch up to you.
And Herb out here blocking 3-pointers. Like,
the rookies, bro. Clown.
Shit, like he don't play as much, but even Murphy is nice. Like,
yeah, Trey. Let me ask y'all this. There have been some saying, like, man, if they had Zion back, they'd be even scarier. Do y'all think that Zion actually fits this New Orleans roster with CJ and BI running the show?
I don't think he would fit seamlessly enough to where, like, if you slot him in, like, it would fundamentally change the way that the Pelicans play. And the way that they play is why they're in it with Phoenix now. Like, first of all, Zion's defense is atrocious. Like,
yeah.
And they're winning partially with defense. Like, they're able to really gum up what Phoenix is doing offensively. And, like, that means less minutes for her, less minutes for Alvarado, like less minutes for Jackson Hayes, like you know, just like less minutes for the athletic advantage that they have. Like, obviously Zion's a freak athlete, but like that manifests in like dunks and, you know, offensive quickness. But as far as like his defense and lateral quickness is not there, and he just don't pay attention. So, and like you're taking the ball out of BI's hands, you're taking the ball out of CJ McCollum's hands, like all things that are contributing to them playing well. So, like, I think if they have an off season, they kind of, you know, rejigger everything, right? Like, but just like, hey, maybe let's bring Zion back right now. Like, no. And it would have been different for like Simmons coming back for Brooklyn, because like basically Simmons could just be a taller Bruce Brown, but there's no role that is being replicated that you can just slide Zion into right now.
Yeah, I agree. I still think that Phoenix wins this series. It's just going to be a lot more difficult for them to do that, because although Chris Paul looked bad in game 4, we saw, like, was it game 3 where he came, like, it was fourth quarter Chris Paul, where when he decides that, okay, I've watched y'all the first 3 quarters, I see how this is going, it's my turn now. And then he just starts making every mid-range shot in the world. Like, that
was game 1 as well. Like,
it's crazy, the games they've won.
But being 38 means you can't do that night to night
consistently.
That's why it's every other game. Shit. Game 1 he had 30. Game 2 he had 17. Game 3 he had 28. Game 4 he had 4 or 8. How much he had? Game 4? He had 4. Damn. But he only took 8 shots. That's the wild part. Like 16 shots, 18 shots, then 8.
So that means tonight should be a good game for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he should. Where he at right now? I think I'm just thinking. I think he already had like 6 points already or some shit.
Ooh, the comments are getting spicy over here, y'all.
Uh-oh.
What if Zion is meant to just be a role player?
Which
I don't know about that.
Not Zion, nah.
I don't know.
And that's the thing. I'm not saying he's trash. It's just like being what he is right now. Like, first of all, he's only played 82 games in the NBA. But yeah, I do think he's trying to get traded, so like I wouldn't be surprised. But the only thing is like getting back good value for him.
And I think that he
the people on the podcast, Kane said Zion getting traded, the Lakers will take him or the Knicks.
Blake Griffin
Jesus
2.0.
Christ.
Y'all are going
I mean,
ham in the
wildin'.
comments
To
right now.
be fair, prime Blake Griffin was a really good player. So that's not terrible. Like prime Blake Griffin, you was scared when that motherfucker drove the lane. That
I hear
motherfucker
you.
was getting shit off in the post. Like he had the moves. He played something. He was rebounding like crazy.
Like
But
the
Zion was
like
supposed to
eight
be
years
more
ago.
than that.
Yeah, Zion's supposed to be that dude. Like
Zion
you build a
was
team
supposed to-
around Zion. Like
I mean, built the team around Blake Griffin.
They both were number one picks.
I feel like him and Chris Paul were 1A and 1B. Like it was a duo there.
But they brought in Chris Paul because they had Blake Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even close to Blake. Golly, like Tim said, Zion can't make it through a season. I didn't imagine this turned into the Zion slander hour, but
Like I'm low on Zion, and even I'm like, goddamn,
Wow.
y'all wildin'.
came through in the comments like, get Zion out of here.
He getting cooked in the comments. Jesus.
And what's funny is I like Zion too. Like I honestly think like once he comes back and he's healthy, like Zion is different. Like he truly is though. Like granted the defense ain't the best, but he'll still get you 2-3 blocks off the top of the backboard. And let's not pretend like he won't jump to the moon to block a shot.
To the moon. That's
Like,
pure
granted-
athleticism. So you have to wonder how much injuries are going to end up affecting him. Like he's doing all this pregame dunk stuff, but like a pregame dunk is different than you giving me 15, 20 solid minutes of game time. Like, let me see you run back and forth down the court a couple of times.
And the thing is, like his dunks, like they're impressive, but they don't look explosive. Like it's like he still gets up high, but it's slow as fuck. Like
Big boy.
college Zion, like he got off the floor quick. Like he doing 360, East bays, but like it takes like 5 seconds to get up and down. Like it's different. Like I gotta see him back on the court. And like maybe that's just like him carrying extra weight, but I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all this question. And I'm gonna read Triple T's comment. 1, do y'all still think that Phoenix wins this series? And 2, how many games do you think it goes? So Triple T's comment says, I'm speaking hypothetically. I want Zion to be successful for all the fat athletic guys out there, but he need to be on the court in order to be successful.
Agreed.
And yes, Kane,
Availability.
they are mostly leg injuries, so it can definitely take your explosiveness away. So Phoenix, New Orleans, do y'all think that Phoenix still pulls this off?
Yes.
I think New Orleans might.
I mean,
I know I'm changing it from
I-
initially Phoenix, but
No, I'm not. Your prediction's already in. Like it is
Yeah,
what it is.
like-
I'm just asking. Like at this point, do you think that you could be wrong? Do you think that Phoenix might lose?
it's like bad. Like if to answer the question, yes. But if we talk about margin of defeat, like they said, Boston beat the Nets by like the slimmest margin, like win percentage, like it's like 6.5 points between the 4 wins that they have, or some shit like that. Like it would be somewhere around there. Like it wouldn't be like, it would be really close if they did pull it off. And I feel like they are fighting enough, and they have enough because they don't have Booker. And Brandon Ingram continues to play this way. CJ McCollum is still going to put some buckets up. Now, granted, he may not do it all those games, but he's still putting up buckets too. And then Jonas Valanciunas, they had no answer for him. Like Valanciunas putting up 20 in 20 games. Like what?
Kane wants it to go 7 games. He wants New Orleans to win because new team stepping up is good. Triple T says that CP gonna will him to the next round. That's the hope.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's the hope. All right, Tim, I think you started. So what series we going to next?
Shit, let's hit Minnesota and Timberwolves. The game just ended and shit.
Both Minnesota and the Timberwolves.
Both of them. Memphis and the Timberwolves. Well,
Memphis is up in that series 3-1.
3-2.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Yeah, 3-2. Phoenix, New Orleans, best player in the series.
Ingram.
Yeah, I'm going Ingram too.
Jose. No.
Jose. I just like singing. I want to go to a game just to be able to sing that along with the crowd. But
He
yeah,
one of
I think
the
it's
irritating players, man.
He the hustle player, bro.
Yeah, bro, he just irritates the hell out of you the whole game.
Running around picking the ball like dog. Play straight up, bro. Why are you running from the crowd?
I can't remember the last time I saw somebody force an 8-second violation. Like single person. Like that was just him mano a mano on Chris Paul, and he forced the 8-second violation. Like that's.
And then Chris Paul started being dirty. I'm like, don't do that, Chris. Like, here we go again, dog. Like,
That's what he do, though.
That's what he do.
That's what he do.
The president of the Players Association.
That's
you
what he does.
That dirty shit on film. It's not even like it's not on. It's on film too.
That's
like
what
we
he
see
do.
you grabbing my man's and poking him in the eye like he Randy Orton. Like, what's wrong with you?
Not like
Yeah,
you,
Boogie don't
Randy
fuck with that man
Randy
to this
Orton.
day.
man. All right. Memphis, Minnesota. Memphis leads that series 3-2. John Morant had a game winner during Game 5 tonight. Game 6 is Friday. Game 6 is Friday. Will that be the end of this series?
These teams are very evenly matched. Both, like, first of all, was that Game 3 where Memphis came back from 20 points down twice?
They had a 15-0 run and
I think it was the
18.
first-
Yes.
Yeah, because it was the game where Cat was like, "Oh, we in Minnesota now."
Minnesota, and the way he said it, we in Minnesota now.
Minnesota, eh?
Sorta.
Don't do that. Don't do that, man. We in Minnesota now.
Like, damn, it's cold as fuck up here with this L. Shit.
With this L.
Like, y'all done blew 2 games where y'all had the lead that y'all should have closed out and won. I
I'll
don't
say
have too
this-
much faith in Minnesota because of that.
I'll say this about Minnesota. They're better than I thought they were.
Mhm.
In large
definitely.
part because Anthony Edwards is really playing like that dude. But I still think that I had Memphis in 6. I'm staying Memphis in 6. I think it ends on Friday.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I think it's going 7.
7.
Which is sad, though.
That was your prediction.
I wouldn't mind 7 games with this series, bro. Like that would, because it's gonna end and it's gonna be close. I feel like the last game will be close. Like these have been some good ass games between these two. So
Yeah.
and then Ja Dad and Cat Dad been going back and forth, and like that's been great to see.
Wholesome content. I love that. I love the black men content that we've been getting with them. Also, did y'all see the security guard tackle the other protester?
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah,
I've been
he was
rolling
ready.
with these motherfuckers. I've been
He was ready
rolling.
too.
He was
He was in
watching
the audience
shit.
just peeping like
He was waiting. Like, let's go.
He was like, I know you want some shit. I know you. I hope you.
He was like, let's
Run out that
go.
motherfucker. Don't you run on there. Got your ass. Got your ass. He was, I mean, he hopped on her quick, and then they just drug her
big
on.
tackle.
And they did drug him.
Wait. Watch him really disappear though.
That's how she was, bro. That after he tackled her ass, he had her arms out, and she was gone. I was like, no.
Yeah.
I told Sam about it because she ain't know nothing about it. I was like, dude, these PETA protesters have been on that Minnesota owner's ass. And me and Camille had like a brief conversation about it. I was like, yeah, okay, PETA, I'll fuck with y'all on this one. I usually don't. Just
She spent
throwing
hella
it out.
money just to get drug
rep
out the
outfit.
arena.
So-
Just
so-
to get
so-
drug out the arena.
Like I
Hey.
get it. The point of the process is to bring attention, and we talking about it, so mission accomplished.
Yeah.
But like the thought process of super gluing your hand to the court, like, did you think it was just gonna stick, and then that was just gonna be like you were just gonna be stuck to the court? Like,
Yep. She worked that out at home. She was like,
it's a cartoon where they do like the big ass paintbrush and the glue, and then you
Draw a
stuck
tunnel.
automatically, and your hand stuck to everything.
they chained themselves to the rim, bro. I'm like, how the fuck you get
A chain and glue.
handcuffs in here? Don't you go through a metal detector?
No,
In Milwaukee, you sure do.
I'm
But
saying, I've walked through a metal detector in Bradley Center.
no, yeah, you're right.
if I service
Yeah.
metal
How the hell
detector,
you get some
yeah.
whole handcuffs, big ass handcuffs too. They was long as fuck. Like,
Maybe
where
it
did these
wasn't real
come
metal.
from?
Maybe it like
Yeah.
she used it as like the chain on her purse, and it's just like, oh, this is art.
Something. Kane had a question. He said, "Is Edwards the best player in his draft class?" Now, if
Same with
you,
LaMelo. And
It's-
that's
yeah.
Bane.
yeah, you also got Tyrese Halliburton in that draft class.
About it, right?
There's some names here. It's just, I mean, 2 years into it. Right now, the names that we have named are the ones who you could put in consideration.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you got like James Wiseman, Pat Williams, Isaac Okoro, Killian Hayes, Obi Toppin,
That man.
I-
That's it right now.
Cole Anthony. Like it's Isaiah
Oh.
Stewart,
It has potential still.
Sadiq Bey.
Yeah, I mean,
Precious
like, 2
Achiuwa.
years in, so you don't know. But
I like
like,
So it's still too early.
Mhm.
highest ceilings are Ant and Melo.
Yeah.
Although again, Desmond
Maxey?
Bain and Halliburton and Maxey, like, ain't no slouches. So
Yeah.
right now, I still think I'll probably go with Melo,
And then Edwards.
but it's a coin flip for me.
Yeah. We'll see how that draft class looks in a couple more years when we can really tell how it unfolded. Any other thoughts on? Well, let me ask y'all this: best player, Memphis, Minnesota series. Who's been the best player on the court? That's a hard one.
Yeah, because
That's why I
been
have to
kind of
really think.
like Cat had game 1 or 2, and then after that he was like disappeared for a couple games.
No, he was big in game 4.
He was big game 1, game 4. Game
He
2, he
disappeared for a couple
disappeared.
games.
Game 3, like, I don't even know if he made double digits.
No, I think
Yeah.
he'll score like 8 points or something like that.
Because, like, that was the thing. Like, they showed him doing the clip of, oh, we in Minnesota now, and then he finished with like 8 points.
Yeah.
And it was garbage while he was mic'd up.
And then
Yeah,
Edwards
he
was
had,
hot game 1. I think he had like game 2. I think he went missing for a second or a little bit. And I think probably Ja.
I think it's probably Ja. Like, Ja hasn't necessarily been like pouring it on points wise, but he's been filling up the stat sheet. It's all around rebounds, assists,
go ahead buckets.
And, like, I missed most of this game, so I don't know how he was in this game. But, like, one thing I've noticed is that he's been slow to adjust to the way that it's officiated. Like, he still kind of drives into the lane and just kind of throws his body around, but he's not getting the calls that he got during the regular season.
or game 1. Because game 1 is blowing all the whistles.
Yeah, sir. But I feel like most of the series, like, he's just been kind of driving with no purpose. Well, I mean, the purpose is to get fouled, but, like, he's not driving to score or create for anybody else. And then he's just, like, throwing up shit, and it's functionally a turnover.
And that's what I was kind of hinting at before the series started when we were talking about the series. And I said that, yeah, Memphis is talking all greasy and they got confidence and stuff like that. Like, but the physicality in the playoffs is a completely different monster, bro. Oh, and like you said, Jock kind of going in there trying to treat it like the regular season, like you're not finna get them whistles, but they finna let them muff you. You'll get.
I mean, no, but the thing is, he has been getting the whistles. I just looked. So I remember him getting a lot of foul calls. Game 1, he had 20 free throws. Game 2, he had 4. He had 10. Game 4, he had 3, and then this game that just finished, he had 17.
So he had 2 double digit and 2 single digit, but
3 double digit.
3 double digit. I'm still there. But yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, Triple T said the best player changes every game in that series. I would agree for that. Elliot said the most consistent has been Desmond Bain.
I give him that.
Yeah,
Desmond Bain, he is real.
Yeah, I wish the Bucks could have got him, but hey, neither here nor there at the
I think
moment.
he was picked with their original pick.
Neither here nor there at the moment. Ken, where we going next? We got 3 other series to talk about.
We can talk about Golden State and Denver.
Boogeyman.
That's what he wants.
Golden State. Yeah, is that game on right now? Game 5?
No, it's
No, Wednesday. That's Wednesday.
Yeah.
My days are all up. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Wednesday. Golden State leads Denver 3-1 in the series currently. They won game 4 off of a prayer and dedication because I thought it was about to be big brooms coming out.
That was a big shot at the end for Will Barton.
Yeah.
Like,
Big shot.
I don't think, again, it's the boogeyman. Like, you may have went to sleep tonight, but tomorrow night he'll be back. Hey, he'll be gone for long, dog. That motherfucker haunts you, dog, until you submit. And Denver trying. They really, and Joker, I gotta give it up to Joker. He's trying his best.
But he can't do it by himself, though.
Your number 2 is Will Barton.
Regular season, Aaron Gordon.
Will Barton. It's his number 2. Aaron Gordon will give you some defense. He'll give you some. Will Barton has, and Monty Morris. Is it Monty or Monty? He's been playing really well this series too. It's spelled Monte. So I'm thinking it's Monte, but I thought they called him like Montu Morris.
Regardless of such,
he's been pretty consistent this series as well. Like he's in essence kind of been right there with those two, but it's just them 3, honestly. Like Aaron Gordon to show up here and there, but
first of all, you don't put some respect on Bones Highland's name, fam.
Oh, Bones, yeah, Bones Highland has been nice too. I've enjoyed Bones Highland as well, but
that definitely seemed like a 10 player to me.
Balls is decent, but no, it's Denver's trying, and I like Denver, but they got Steph coming off the bench now. Initially, it was just for him to get his minutes together, but now that nigga's really coming off the bench this series. And why is y'all doing this to folks?
It was still minutes restriction. He's been under minute restriction this whole time thus far.
30
But
off the bench.
my Aaron Gordon plan, I had to double check. The game they win was the game that Aaron Gordon finally did show up. Like, that's somebody who they need to actually show up for this series to be a series. The problem is, I don't think he'll be able to do that consistently. Like, he's improved every game thus far in this series, but it's still Golden State. Like, I just think it's as simple as the fact that Golden State's a better team. To me, it's that simple. They're a better team. They are going to win. Sorry, Jokic, you tried. You have been putting out a valiant effort. It's not going to be enough.
I think Denver put their all into not getting swept. So I think we're going to go back to San Francisco, and it's going to be the end of that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Best player in that series has been
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole. Shout out to Jordan Poole, 414.
You can argue Draymond too, but
Oh, that was the point I was going to make. So, like,
I'm gonna say
y'all were
Draymond.
saying, like, with Steph coming off the bench, like, obviously it's not a full-time, like, that's not, I'm sure that, next series, he's not coming off the bench. It might be as soon as game 5. But I do think that Jordan Poole has been clearly much better when he's in the starting lineup. I just don't know how they address that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to bring Steph off. Draymond, of course not. Clay, I argue like he probably should have when he came back from injury, but they didn't. So he's the starter inked in. And then, like, you need Wiggins and Looney for defense. So it's like, but if Jordan Poole is worse for coming off the bench, like, again, I don't know what to do.
well, that's their lineup right now too. Like, was it Poole, Clay, Steph, Draymond, and Wiggins?
Wiggins. That's the closing
death
lineup they've been using, the death lineup.
So
It's not really sustainable. Right, it's not sustainable for a full game, but it could be the situation too where Jordan Poole understands it's the playoffs right now. I am going to be getting my minutes. Like, I'm going to play starter minutes here. I'm going to finish the game. I just won't be able to start the game, which is what I think will happen come next playoff or the next series, but we'll see.
I just like psyche-wise, he's a young player. Like, maybe he built, like, his rhythm is better starting. Like, that's going to be Steph regardless of his starter bench. But, like, obviously you can't not start Steph Curry for the long haul.
Hey, young man got to learn. Young man got to learn.
But are you lowering your ceiling by doing so?
I don't think you're lowering your ceiling too much. Like, he's been starting and coming off the bench at various points throughout the season.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, his slump coincided with Clay coming back and him moving to the bench. Then he got off like when Steph got hurt and he moved back into the starting lineup. So
I hear you, but I'm saying, like, I'm not necessarily thinking it's necessarily if he start or if he's coming off the bench. I think it was getting used to a different role at that time. But if in the playoffs here, my role is going to be 35 minutes or whatever the case might be. I might not start the game, but I'm going to get my minutes to get my rhythm. I'm going to finish the game. Like, I think it's a little different than regular season where 1 week you are a starter, then the next week you ain't. Because the minute allocation is just so much different because you're not playing your best players as many minutes during the regular season as you are in the playoffs. And also, it's so much more situational in the playoffs where, like, this is not the time for you to be in your head.
Obviously where it's going to go. I'm just saying, like, it's an issue that's not really an issue because there's only one answer to that question. But it's something to kind of think about, I guess. Thought exercise.
Yeah. We all had Golden State in 6, except for Tim. He had Golden State in 5, so that might be happening. Ken, you want to talk, or Eric, you want to talk about Miami, Atlanta, or Dallas, Utah?
Gross.
Luka.
Gross twice. Sure. Let's start the funeral for the Utah Jazz as we know them.
The kid.
It's over. Donovan Mitchell actually injured his hamstring during the fourth quarter of Game 4.
Oh, did he?
When they were down by 28 points with 4 minutes and 41 minutes left of game time. One might question why was he even in the game at that point with the score that way, but hey, that is what it was. And now the series is 3-2 with Dallas in the lead. Game 6 is Thursday night in Dallas.
Stick a fork in them.
They're
done. They're done.
Yeah, it's the route for them.
This should be an interesting offseason for the Jazz. Then this is gonna be real.
Blow it up.
Blow it up. Yeah.
Honestly,
that's the only option.
No, they've had enough times.
That's
to try.
Literally the only option, bro.
I agree with y'all. I was just surprised on the game winner, the lob to Rudy Gobert from Mitch. I was kind of shocked about that, but I was like, he was so damn open. If he didn't throw that lob, it'd have just solidified everybody's like, no, you don't fuck with it. It's like he had no choice. Like if he didn't throw that lob in that game, because I was so shocked. Like he threw it to Rudy. What?
It was cute.
They did the little
celebration together. Yeah, they're like, yay! I was like, aw. That's at the same lunch table.
Did you hit him with one of these afterwards? Fuck it.
Like a Joel Embiid when he hugged Ben Simmons, kind of look, give a side eye. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Best player in the series.
Maxi Cleveland.
No, it was Jalen Brunson.
I said Jalen Brunson.
It was Jalen Brunson, and then Luka got.
I still say Jalen. I mean, yeah, Luka's back.
But Jalen Brunson, yeah, for sure.
Brunson then played himself into some money.
He was kind of, even though he didn't put it up consistent like that during the regular season, he had, like we was talking about before, he had that run and a stretch during the season where it was like, damn, Jalen. He had a
good regular season this year. Like overall, it was a good year for him.
And he was nice. Him and was it Murray from the Spurs? They both was kind of like cooking at the same time. It was like that's random as shit. But
well, he wasn't cooking at Murray level, but he was cooking in his own kitchen. In his own right.
No, he had a good year. So I wasn't surprised when he took off like that during the playoffs either, because I was like, he did that for a hot second during the regular season. So it's something that you can kind of see coming for him. Like he was just like, fuck it, I'm just take over. Okay, and they can't stop him. I think they can't stop that man. I don't know why, but they can't stop him. But every now and then, he's just holding turbo and running around the court, and he'll shoot.
It's like we said, like the way to beat Utah is documented. It's actually very easy because you know what they're going to do defensively. You spread them out. If you penetrate on the drive, you get past your man, Rudy Gobert is going to help because he cannot help himself but to do so because he knows I am said rim protector. It's like innate in him. Like he can't help it. He's going to leak out of that corner.
And if he don't, like it's just gonna be a layup. So.
Exactly. So he cheats. If he cheats, they kick it off to the three, the open three. They're normally gonna make it, and if not, like Eric says, going to be a layup. That's how you beat Utah. You play some defense and you make your open shots, and they have been taking full advantage of that. Sorry, Utah. It was good while it lasted. Triple T said Joe Ingles was a big part of Utah, and they miss him. They do.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have helped them win this series, though.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's a Ben Simmons destination.
I don't think Ben Simmons is going anywhere because I think if you try to trade him at this moment, you're not going to get.
Would you trade him for Gobert?
Value. No.
With Utah?
I don't think yet. Like I don't think Utah will want that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he's going nowhere but back to Brooklyn.
So I think, and obviously we're not in the off season, so we can have a larger discussion about this then. But I think Rudy probably for sure is gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Mitchell is too.
I mean, the Knicks was out there scouting him.
Yeah, they was pissed, big pissed. They was mad that the Knicks was at the Jazz executives was mad that the Knicks executives sitting courtside at the game because they felt like, bro, don't be out here. What is? We already got these rumors going around and heard
we
that
y'all a great game.
Now y'all at the game, bro.
It's a great game. We're enjoying it. We're great Utah.
Sitting by the bench, bro. If y'all don't move the fuck around.
They said, psst.
Hey,
What else, D?
Boo! Boo! We here, boo!
Any other thoughts on Utah, Dallas?
So that's the 4-5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the winner plays Phoenix. Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a good series.
Man, the second round's gonna be nice.
Second
Yeah,
round's gonna be hot, bro.
Dallas could win this second. Like, this is gonna be their first playoff win since what, 2011 or
So
something
they
like
won
that.
the title.
Yeah. So yeah, this is Luka's. Well, if he does what we expect him to do, and that's close out Utah, this will be his very first playoff series victory.
Yeah, the Clippers kept putting them out.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Damn shame. Couldn't get past the Clippers.
Hey, the Clippers was hooping.
I was gonna say that was full strength Clippers.
Yeah, like which is
Fair.
one. I'm gonna go back, but one thing about watching Boston, it made me just be like, I'm so glad. Well, the basketball fan in me, like, of course, as a Bucks fan, I wish they would have traded 1 to 2. But like, you see the vision of Jason and Tatum playing together with Jaylen Brown now. You see how it can work in that way.
Mhm.
And I think it was because they also had to have some type of hierarchy where it was like, Tatum was like, me, understand, but I got you. Like, don't worry, I got you, but understand me. One. Here, number one option. But I think, like, if I was a Clippers fan and I'm looking at Boston, I'll be sitting there like, this is what we're trying to get to if we could just stay healthy. If we could just stay healthy, the idea of having these 2-star wings who can switch off and do all this other stuff and muck it up. Anywho, last series here. Miami, Atlanta.
Miami.
They won. Miami won. 4-1 gentleman's sweep. Jimmy Butler didn't even play in Game 5.
Neither did Kyle Lowry.
Neither did Kyle Lowry. No,
Other people was lighting their ass up.
Jimmy Butler had some knee inflammation and missed Game 5. He's currently listed as day-to-day. Kyle Lowry got a hamstring injury that he injured in Game 4. Didn't matter. They didn't need him. Atlanta was not enough. Not good enough. Lock Trae Young all the way up.
Like, if there's one team that I'm not worried about, like, handling issues, is Miami. Like, they've done it all season. Like, they haven't had Lowry and Butler for probably the majority of the year. They didn't have Bam for like 30 games. Like, it hasn't mattered. They still got the number 1 seed. So I think that they have enough depth to where, like, you know, whoever's in the game is going to give you Miami Heat basketball. And Atlanta just went out sad. Like,
Yep.
all that talk about from
DeAndre Hunter was
start of the
hooping.
season. What?
DeAndre Hunter was hooping this game. He had 35. God damn.
Didn't
Someone
matter.
had to do something because it wasn't going to be Trae. That man Trae had 11 points tonight in an elimination
before?
game
What
and
was his
6
game last
turnovers.
game?
Oh, last game he only had 9 points.
Yeah, I'm about to say, didn't he only have like single digits last game too?
I think he averaged like less than 15 points for this series.
He averaged 15 on the dot, 15.4
Yeah.
this series.
It's not going to
Sad.
cut it.
Yeah,
And like
it's nice.
very bad shooting splits.
Yep. He had 2 good games. One he had 25, one he had 24, but he had to earn every single one of those points. Like, he put up the points, but it took him, 20 shots in one game and 14 in the other. Like,
I'm not gonna hold you up. That nigga shot selection was iffy sometimes. Iffy. I'm sitting there looking like, bro, swing it. Swing it. You got a man open in the corner. You
Like,
run
fuck
back
that.
with half logo. Fuck it. I'm like,
Fuck
bro,
that.
what the fuck was that? Like, you ain't swinging at all. Come up the court. Fuck it. Half of I'm like, but if he hit 2 of those motherfuckers, he hot. Don't let him hit 2 of those logo shots in a row, and then it's a wrap.
I think that whole team and Trae specifically, like, they needed this season. They needed to get humbled because like they were riding too high off of last year. Thought they had made it. It's like, no, you got to put in the work year in, year out. Like, you don't just get to pick up where you left off. And it's like there were quotes from earlier in the season where he's like, you know, after the highs of the playoffs, like, this regular season shit ain't it. Like, paraphrasing, but like that was basically the sentiment of it. And it's like, nah, it's a process. Like, from the start of training camp through the playoffs, and what you put into it is what you get back out of it. So they didn't take the regular season serious enough.
Preach.
They also seem to have chemistry issues, like definitely not as bad as the Jazz, but it ain't great there. Trey needs to be more inclusive with his teammates. Like he definitely thinks it's the Ice Trey show, and like they've had too much talent in Atlanta for the last couple of years for it to just be like a one-man show.
Yeah, I think it's time for them to cash out on some of that young talent and get an actual second star. I'm not sure who that would be.
Rudy.
But Trey needs someone else because Miami just loaded up on him. They were like, if you ain't scoring, we ain't really worried about this team too much. And they proved to be right. Tough sledding, tough cookies.
Dog. PJ Tucker kept taking Trey to the post in game 4, I think.
PJ Tucker had Trey Young in hell at various points throughout this series. Yes. It was amazing to watch PJ Tucker old self. He just out there clamping, and I'm like,
5 3-point games. Like, bro, what? Who? PJ Tucker had 5 threes. Who? Like, really? Like, damn. All right.
I mean, you gardening with Trey Young, like I might be able to score.
You at least get 5 open threes.
The playoffs have been fun. I had just tweeted out, like, I love basketball. Like, or made a Facebook status. Like, this has been great. I've been enjoying myself here. Next round, I might not as much because I'm a little nervous, but we ain't got to worry about that right now. We currently focus on the first round. So that is what it is. I had in here Gone Fiction section. We can hit that another time. We ain't got to do that right now. We spent way more time on the playoffs than I expected. So I do want to acknowledge some of the award winners in the NBA here before we move on. One, shout out to NBA for going back to like announcing awards just after the regular season. We don't need the whole award show thing. It's cooler to see them get the awards with their teammates anyways. But TNT's been announcing the winners of each major award during its coverage of the playoffs. We know 3 award winners so far from the Big 6. Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year. Ja Morant, Most Improved. And Scottie Barnes, Rookie of the Year.
Congratulations.
Shout out to the award winners. Shout out to Eric and Tim who foresaw the greatness of Scottie Barnes before the season started. Had him as their preseason Rookie of the Year pick.
Kid's nice.
Shout out. Yeah,
He
he
really
is
is.
nice.
That one, like none of the other awards have really surprised me thus far, but like that one got
Me too.
just narrative wise, like I thought it seemed like most people were voting for Mobley. Like I feel like he had such a lead from earlier in the season. Like between Barnes, Mobley, and K, like there was a case for all 3. I don't disagree with Kane.
Kane said that Smart makes no sense, but he's cool with the other 2 awards.
Yeah. Like Ja feels overqualified for Most Improved, but I get it.
Did you see his advanced stats on his points per game? It was like he increased his points per 40 by like 10 points per game.
Even raw, it was like 9. It was like raw points per game. So like when we had our post All-Star break NBA season check-in, I was like, Ja, Most Improved Player. And I was like, I know it seems weird, but like all of his vital stats are up and his turnovers are down.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get it's not in the spirit of the award people were initially thinking of it because it's supposed to go to somebody who's like kind of up and coming. And Ja has already been like, hey, I'm here. But still taking the jump from being a good player to being MVP level type of player is quite a jump.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mad that Ja got it. I was surprised that Jordan Poole wasn't even top 3 though.
Yeah,
that didn't make sense. He needs to get more love for sure.
But
I mean, like Garland and Murray, like
I was gonna say like, but Garland was somebody who I think most of y'all, I think the 3 of y'all thought that he would be most improved. And DeJounte Murray, he also made a leap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I get it, Jordan Poole's regular season leap was like it was not to diminish it, but like it just wasn't as large as some of the others. But I definitely did think his name was gonna pop up a little bit more often than what it did.
I think more so we've seen Jordan Poole's growth and maturity as a player all around. Like, yeah, he was Klay Thompson, apparently, Draymond Green wanted them to draft Poole, and then Klay Thompson liked Poole from the moment that they got him in there and thought that he was going to be next up anyways. But Jordan Poole, we seen him grow because Steph was out for a minute. So I think that's what really helped him and put him in the limelight. And people were like, oh shit, he hooping. He's putting up big numbers in those games and things like that. Like he was hooping. But then they also had a run where they lost like 10 in a row and he was still hooping. But it wasn't like they was really getting like they needed to. So I can understand why people kind of was a little hesitant on Jordan Poole too, because his came in a lot of the moments where Steph wasn't there.
You mean Klay?
Well, Klay wasn't there. Yeah, because when Klay came back, like I said, he kind of went down for a minute. And then he kind of came back. Steph went out. He couldn't.
Because Steph was, yeah.
So it was like his moments came while people were gone. Not necessarily like he forced himself into that situation, if that makes sense.
We got a comment that I disagree with. Kane said if Giannis doesn't win MVP, it is rigged. Yeah. Don't you be Joel Embiid out here, sir. Yeah. There were a few
else I gotta do.
There were 3 gentlemen with MVP cases. Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis. If any of the 3 wins, it makes sense. Like it just it's not even worth getting upset about. I'm gonna tell y'all right now because Giannis is not going to win. So
no, he's not.
It's not happening.
If you want to knock Embiid, you talk about his team seeding. Honestly, that's about it.
And he had the same record as the Bucks. So like I don't. Sorry, like they were all good. Like it's not a slight in the least bit. Like you can't win.
I'm gonna go back to Defensive Player of the Year because I tweeted this, and I know you felt like you disagreed. So I'll state my case here. Like Joel Embiid and people that seem to support him want to talk about narratives, and the media latches on to a guy and they don't see anybody else, and like I don't think that argument held up for the MVP discussion. Like it's you can point to stats where okay, these 3 guys are head and shoulders above everybody else. Some guys are stronger here, some guys are stronger there. You can, if you want to go the narrative route, it's like all of them had to deal with injuries or absences from teammates. Like you're splitting hairs at that point. Mm-hmm. Marcus Smart feels a lot like this team has the best defense. He was the best defender that was healthy for the longest on that best defense. So ergo, Defensive Player of the Year. Like really, the best defensive player I saw this year was Draymond Green, but he ain't played enough games. So I get it. He out. Mm-hmm. Gobert is still Gobert. Like he's been pretty much as good as he's been the last 5 years defensively. He was just tired of voting for Rudy Gobert. Giannis, same Giannis that he's been the last couple of years. The Bucks team defense fell off. So Giannis is out. And like people just kept striking contenders for that award until we got to the point where it's like, well, you know what? We ain't had a guard win forever since Gary Payton in 1996. And Marcus Smart has, like they're the best team, but it's like they're the best defensive team because they have a team full of great defenders. Like there's no weak link in their entire defensive ecosystem. So like I think it's more of a team award for Boston's defense than it is like Marcus Smart earned this over, Mikal Bridges or Jaren Jackson Jr. or Giannis or Gobert or whoever.
I think that's fair. I just wanted to hear what your gripe was. Honestly, I don't really care.
I mean, I don't either. But it's just like narratives, and it's like, well, this is one time where I actually feel like that was the
narrative played into
okay with it.
The award winning. Kane said that if Giannis plays in New York, this is his 4th MVP. Might as well could be. Very well could be. But you have to understand as well, too, that Giannis isn't the kind of player who's going to cape for him to win awards. He's not going to advocate for him to win awards. That's part of it. Like, Joel Embiid wanted to win MVP. And you saw it over the last few weeks of the season. He went out there and he was talking about it. He was playing, saying, what I got to do, what I got to do. Giannis don't really care. And with that, the Bucks don't tend to draw a lot of attention to it outside of what they tweet about his post games and calling him MVP. But like, they're not going to do a campaign for the man like some other teams do for their guys. He's just not as interested in it. A few quick things before we wrap on up here. Jay Wright retired as head coach of Villanova, but he is leaving the door open to someday coach in the NBA.
Oh, he was at Villanova forever too.
You know what that means? Hey, Rob Pelinka, call me, bro.
Ken like,
he looks the part. Shit. Oh.
He looks the part. Shut up.
That's all I can. He looks the part. Shut up.
Either that or he waiting for Doc to get fired in Philly. Then he don't even got to move.
Then he cheering for Toronto big time. The NFL draft is Thursday. Kicks off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 3-day event. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. When I turn the draft on Thursday, it'll be my first real time even paying attention to the NFL draft. All that I know is that I need the Packers to draft a wide receiver at some point throughout this draft. I'm not even gonna be one of them Packer fans that's mad if it's in the second round. Depends on.
Had success there.
Depends on how the draft plays out, because from what I have gathered, there could be an early run on wide receivers, which could leave the Packers in the dark. And if that is the case, no need to reach. Just go ahead and get the best player available. Really quick, Tim, because what I wanted to know is, Ken, the Bears here.
Uh-huh.
I just want to know, what positions are you hoping that you get some new talent for?
For sure, wide receiver, offensive line, linebackers, and cornerback for sure.
The whole should have said offensive line 3 times.
What the Bears need? Whole team.
Hey, that's what we need. We need to run it. We need a wide receiver, linebacker, O-line.
Hey, y'all really need to protect y'all investment with that O-line for sure.
That should be number one.
But I like, it's this kid from North Dakota State that I like.
Is it Trey?
Christian.
Wide receiver?
Yeah. Christian, what is his last name? I forgot what his last name is.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. That's a dude that they got the real freaky athleticism.
Yeah, like
he don't really burn nobody. He just out jump cats.
Yeah, he's stupid athletic, yo. So yeah,
I can't think of his name, but
Christian something. I can't think of what his last name is. But he's from North Dakota State, and I because where we at in the draft for second round,
Watson.
We can there we go. We can definitely pick him up.
And if we get him first,
wait, he looked like John Cena.
That's probably the picture you're looking at.
I mean, he looked like a mixed John Cena, but it looked like John Cena.
Mixed John Cena.
Hey, that reminds me, WWE 2K was 22, the new wrestling game.
Is it
mad fun? It's mad fun. I won't even lie. I've been having a great time playing that game.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna cop it.
Yeah, Packers' needs are, I think, well known at this point. Of course, wide receiver, but also always got to reinvest in offensive tackles, get that O-line, get you some O-linemen, some linebackers, some inside linebackers in particular, edge rushers. I mean, just get the best players. Get the best players on the board.
I think it's just those 4. Like if we stay with our first 2 picks on a linebacker and a offensive lineman, I would not be surprised or mad. If we were like a pass rusher, I would not be surprised or mad about it. Honestly.
You'd be in the minority. Packers Twitter will burn down.
This is what we do. Like legitimately, we draft defensive players or offensive linemen in the first round for the most part. We don't draft running backs in the first round. We don't draft wide receivers in the first round. We draft random ass quarterbacks in the first round, but that's about it. Like we usually draft an offensive or defensive player, like an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman or a safety, because we don't draft linebackers either, really. Like shit, we've been needing one for a while. Like it's honestly either the trenches in the first 2 rounds.
Is first round really, like, I feel like linebackers are the running backs of the defense. Like, you really don't draft those high up.
But the ones that have drafted high up have paid, like they paid good dividends for them. Like you have the Micah Parsons, or you have the
Of
For
course,
example,
I
I
mean,
mean, Micah Parsons is an edge rusher too. Like it's not really.
he started off
Right.
as a linebacker that they drafted him as, and then they said, "Oh, damn, you can actually pass rush when you work with DeMarcus Lawrence." And
But no, he was
converted him
always-
to an edge
He was
rusher.
always.
no,
an
he was
edge
always an edge rusher. It's just they put his hand down at certain times instead of having him stand up. But the
yeah,
point,
linebacker.
but the
But that's
the overall
that's
point-
a pass rusher. Like that's
Not just
Right.
him.
But I get your overall point saying that there are, but of course, as with any draft, you can pick a dud linebacker in the first round. You can pick a dud at any position in the first round. It's all about the player talent, your scouting department, and also their fit with your team. Overall, I just want the Packers to pick the players that fit the system, the best players on the board. Because if you look back at their last couple of drafts, they've hit on a lot. Because to Kane's point, back in 2019, they took Gary in the first round. That was their first round pick, and he was a linebacker, edge rusher, but a linebacker.
I think what's the name was in that same draft too.
It was
Savage.
Rashawn Gary and Savage. Those were the 2 first round picks in that particular
And then
draft.
Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson was the draft before that with Jair Alexander.
50-50.
But like the Packers, like it's been all right. I mean, 2019, Rashawn Gary, Darnell Savage, Elgin Jenkins, Jay Sternberger, and Kingsley Keke. And the rest of that we ain't got a list.
Right.
Then the next year, Jordan Love, AJ Dillon, Josiah DeGara, John
Doing all
Runyon
offense.
is going to pay off. Like there was a lot of offense taken last year or 2 years ago, and then last year it was a pretty decent mix. Eric Stokes, Josh Myers, Amari Rogers, Royce Newman. Like just pick the best player on the board.
And I think Amari Rogers is actually going to turn out really well. Like cats,
I would
have
hope
forgotten
so.
about him. And even Randall Cobb was like, he has the same struggles as the other receivers. He's like, look at the Devontaes and the Jordys. He was like, and the James Joneses. He was like, he has drop issues too. He was like, I'm hoping this year, like helping him out, that he can mature into a better receiver, get his hands together. He was like, well, he's a good player. And I think he's still going to turn out to be a good. I think he's one of our forgotten receivers.
I hope so. We need him. And just also draft guys who can play special teams. That's really all. I'm not going to be too pressed. I won't. I promise you I won't.
Yeah, what I'll say about Packers drafts historically, like recent history, is contrary to popular belief, like this isn't just Aaron Rodgers and a bunch of scrubs. Like they've drafted well. Like that's why they've had sustained success over the last couple of decades, because they draft pretty well by and large, and they keep bringing in young talent to replace the expensive talent that leaves, mid-career. So,
and you've seen Goody be a bit more willing to dive into the free agency bucket, which I feel like the draft, you just kind of take the best guys that are available, and free agency, you kind of use it to plug up some holes that you still have. But I like the draft. I love watching it, so I'm looking forward to Thursday. Tyson Fury.
ESPN this year instead of ABC. Like last year I go to ABC, I'm like, are y'all gonna analyze the draft at all? Like it was It was all like stories, and I'm like,
everybody's backstory.
I watched the wrong one. I'm like, where's
Tyson
Mel Kiper?
Right. Tyson Fury won against Dylan White this past weekend to retain his WBC and heavyweight titles, and what he's calling the final fight of his career. Yep, Kane, the draft is Thursday. Tyson Fury said that's going to be his last fight. Said he told his wife he'd be done with this soon. He said that's going to be it. We'll see.
She'll see.
If that bag right, he'll be back in there.
Of course. Of course.
I keep thinking about how them two blew that damn bag, bro. Wilder and Joshua, they really blew that.
Being
bag.
scary. Now they lost the bag. But we're gonna end this on the. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say every boxing retirement is just a down payment on the comeback fight.
It's a fact. It's a good way to word it. But to end this on a positive note, Miguel Cabrera, he joined an elite club,
Miggy.
getting his 3,000th hit of his career.
3,000. You know, I
Great
never
movie.
thought that was significant again to the movie. I never really realized how significant that was really until that movie. Again, we was younger too when it came out a while ago. But when since then, I'm like, cats ain't really hitting 3,000 like that. Like, so it's a big accomplishment for him. So congratulations, sir. Plus, Miguel Cabrera been cold forever. So.
Yeah. Like for real.
When he first $300 man, $300 million man.
After
I believe so. Yeah.
After he got the hit, ESPN like had a graphic, and like basically nobody is on track to get it right now. At least like in the next 7 or 8 years. Like they show all the people that are like within like within like 1,500 hits, and it's like all of them are like 38, 39, 36. Like
it's a lot of damn hits, bro.
That is.
That's a lot of damn hits.
Mike Trout not even halfway there. He had 1431.
Again, I didn't realize how significant that was until that movie, and after that point, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, you really. So congratulations, my guy.
I'll do even one better. In addition to that, he's only the 7th player in Major League history with 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. I'm not sure if y'all. I don't think y'all in the doc, but if you're not, do you know the other 6 guys who have those accolades? 3,000 hits.
Each 500. No, he ain't got home runs though like that. He ain't got the 500 home runs.
Wait, hold on.
I know.
Wait. It's 3K hits, 500 home runs.
Yep.
Okay, now y'all can go.
Give me
Pujols.
Yep, that's one.
Barry Bonds is the obvious one.
I'm gonna say Barry.
No.
Actually, does he have 3K?
Oh, because that motherfucker was average.
I don't think he has
shit.
Hank Aaron should be
Hank Aaron's on there.
What about Ken?
Griffey? No. I know Griffey not.
Mm.
Alex Rodriguez in that too.
Yep. Barry Bonds was
What's
just
Teixeira?
under 3,000 hits, by the way. You said who?
What about Teixeira?
No. Teixeira wouldn't be on there.
Willie Mays?
Yes, Willie Mays is one.
That makes
Y'all stalling.
Yeah.
I'll read the list up. I got you. So the Cabrera joins Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Eddie Murray, Rafael Plumero, Albert Pujols.
Okay, I forgot about
Albert Pujols, and Alex Rodriguez.
There we go. I knew Alex was on.
I forgot from everything. Rafael was nice. It's nice.
Yeah, he was tough. Yeah.
Okay.
There you have it. Kane got Hank Aaron in the comments. That was it. He knew it was Hank Aaron was one of them. I feel you. Any blow the whistles this week?
I thought I did. But it's gone. Yeah.
It's gone. All right. Tech top 5. Eric's face. He was looking like, yo, forgot this was part of the show. Got nothing for you, boss.
Nope, I forgot what the topic was for a minute. So clearly
this week
it was Courtside, right? Courtside.
Yeah.
Games you would. He do kind of like John Cena.
Yeah, he do. Especially on that thing, he do.
Right, but this week for Tech Top 5, we are just doing top 5 playoff games. We wish we could have been courtside for.
Damn, I got one that's not a playoff game.
Oh, we said it was all playoff.
I thought it was just top 5.
Yeah,
games
I'm on
that we
playoff.
wanted to take courtside for. I didn't know it was playoff only.
I think I'm on playoffs.
Yeah, it was playoffs.
Yeah, it was playoffs.
Damn. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 1, 2, 4, and 5.
I got nothing. So you got more than me.
I can go. We'll go in reverse order before I forget mine.
That don't help me.
Go ahead. Get your.
Don't forget mine. 5. I have.
Actually, I gotta I'll be right back.
1980, when Magic Johnson played all 5 positions. That was in that 1980, right? Yeah.
Damn,
yeah.
I didn't know he did that.
When he played all 5.
See it on winning time.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so that's 5. 4. Probably Game 7, Cavs, Golden State. That was in 16?
Yeah.
3.
Yes, Jeff.
I don't know what my 3 would be. Kobe. Lakers winning the championship in 15. Kobe got number 5.
In 15, what?
No. No.
In 2010? 2009?
Yeah, 2010. My bad. 2010. Number 2 will be Kobe 81. And then,
ain't in the playoffs.
Oh shit, it wasn't in the playoffs. Fuck me. Damn it. See, now I gotta pivot because my last 2 not playoff games.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say them anyway. My last 2 not playoff games, but Kobe 81, and then Kobe final game. They're not playoff games, so I won't win if we were going to win. But those are mine.
Either one of y'all got y'all list, so I can try to think of something.
Yeah, I got number 5. What was that? The Cavs Golden State. What did you say? Game 7. It was LeBron block.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
it's game 7. Yeah.
So that's my number 5. Number 4, I got Portland versus OKC 2019 first round game 6. Bye. Right to Paul George. All right, Dame with the 50 piece. Then I got the 76ers versus Toronto game 7 in 2019. I would have loved to be in the crowd, sitting right there courtside with everybody. I'd have been in the damn picture too. I'd have been part of that legendary joint, dog. Number, what was that? 5, 4, 3. Number 2, I got the 2013 Game 6 finals. Heat versus the Spurs, Ray Allen's game time shot.
Okay. That's a good one.
I was watching that live when I was still in tech school for the military. So I was like, oh, I would have loved to have been there. Like that was a cracking ass game.
Yeah,
and number 1, of course, last year Bucks Game 6 Finals 2022.
Tis number one. That one I knew.
That's gonna be my number 1 too. But game 5. Jesus Christ. Number 5. Let's go with. I'm a cheat. You can just pick any one of them. First round 2009 Bulls and Celtics. That was
the good
to this day one of the greatest series I've ever seen. That didn't mean shit in the great scheme of things. But yeah, that was like Ben Gordon was getting this shit off. Ray Allen was getting this shit off. Rondo was getting this shit off. I think
Ben Gordon was cold.
There. Who?
Ben Gordon. I think he had like 45 that game, 48 or some shit like that.
I mean, I think he went for 40 a couple times this series. But like they kept going into like multiple overtimes like throughout the course of that series. Like that was some of my favorite basketball memories. That's 5. 4. I'm gonna go with Game 6, 1998. Jordan's last shot.
Yes, sir.
3. I'm gonna go with Game 7 of the 2016 Finals, Cavs and Warriors. 2. Game 6, 2013 Heat and Spurs. Specifically, I want to sit in that corner where Ray Allen hit that shot.
Yeah, that's on my list too.
And Game 1, of course, Game 6, 2021 NBA Finals. Giannis scoring 50, Bucks winning their first title in 50 years. Last time I cried.
Man, it's been a long time since you cried then.
Not a
That
cry.
was a steal, bro.
There's nothing wrong with crying.
It's been nothing but up.
It ain't you.
Right,
I cry at cartoon movies. I be crying all the time. Appreciate y'all stalling for me. So 5, I am going to go
The Pistons.
well, not me, but Kane in the comments said the Pistons last championship with Ben Wallace. I'm sure
Blog,
you would like to
blog
see
on
that
for
too.
now.
I wouldn't mind being there for that one too.
Boo. Boo. Yeah.
You got the Laker fan upset. Number 5, speaking of Lakers, I'm going to go Lakers Suns, Game 4, first round series in 2006. That overtime game that they had where Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant were going at it. It went to overtime. It was just fun. One of my favorite Kobe celebrations.
Wait,
number
was that
4?
when he pulled his jersey, or was that when he was like with the
Oh,
fist?
hold on. Some popped up on my screen. Hold on. I'm trying to close that out.
Oh,
No, it was like some your software thing that run to scan your computer. I'm not trying to have no scan right now. No, that was when he was pumping it up.
Pump
Pump it up. 4. Some good games here. 4, I am going to go Heat Spurs Game 6 2013 Finals. Game 3. I'm going to do I want to see Jordan with his game winner on the last shot, or do I want to see the block? which one would I want to see more? I want to see Jordan more. I'm gonna go 3 Cavs, Warriors, Game 7, 2016. 2 Bulls, Jazz, Game 6, 98. And then 1 Bucks Suns, Game 7, 2021. And that's the show this week, y'all.
I did have an honorable mention. If it wasn't only playoffs, I wanted to go to that OKC Golden State game.
Warriors game? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's the one again, I'd have been in that photo too. What you talking about? Handing all in the air and shit.
Yeah, regular season is so, I mean, it's overwhelming the amount of options you have. It's this one Nets Suns game with Jason Kidd dueling Steve Nash. I think they went to overtime in that one too. Double overtime.
A theme, Camille.
What overtime?
You just Steve Nash duels.
I love Steve Nash.
That's one of my favorite players. I love Steve Nash. I love Steve Nash.
That shit used to be weird as hell when he's like, they're like, yeah, he's a great basketball player. He's a soccer fanatic. Come kicking the ball in the air and shit. Like, bro, if you don't get the fuck on with this.
Hold on, to close this out, to Kane talking about the push up on Russell. All I'm gonna say about that again, he was already falling. Jordan just kind of guided him where he was going. That's nobody's fault but Russell's. He should have had better balance. He bit the wrong way. Jordan saw him going the wrong way. He helped him the direction he was already going.
Jordan hit him with a hat. His head over to me.
Tighten them ankles up, Russ. But no, that's the show.
I might got to blow the whistle on Jeff for saying he was a.
Hey, I'm just going to say that too. He's very fragrant. Hey, that's number 2, Jeff. One more, yeah.
No, that's the show this week, y'all, though. We hope y'all enjoy. We hope that you all are doing well. Continue to be well. Listen to Overtime. Tech File Overtime on Thursdays. Subscribe to the YouTube. Download the Good News app. Subscribe to, do all the things. You review everything you do to help the show. Free ways to support the pod. We appreciate all of them. If you want to follow me on the social medias,
hold on.
Wait a minute.
Wait, I was like, hold on.
I was like, what happened?
It's too late. I can't detect sarcasm anymore at this point. If you want to follow me on social medias, you can catch me.
Wait a minute.
On Twitter, Instagram, and these PSN, 2K, GTA. I ain't gonna say WWE streets. I ain't ready for all that. At Camille Monet, CamilleMonae, because
your mom is fancy.
Thank you, sir.
At your world champion Bucks and 5 burner on Twitter.
That's all you get.
Yep.
Everyday_gentleman on Instagram. K Harris 216 on Twitter and Snapchat.
And it's your boy TIMKINZ, the number 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. We'll holler at y'all.
Peace out, y'all. You doing the John Cena? They can't see you. Peace out, y'all.